Something new today from Charlotte Tilbury. We have the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Lip and Cheek Glow Blush Sticks for $42 each. We're going to talk about them, compare them to some other noteworthy blush sticks. There certainly are a lot on the market. We're going to do all that today with me, Rebecca. I am a fashion and beauty editor who has worked for well over 20 years in print. That's why this channel is called Not Fit for Print Beauty, because I've taken it from the pages of print, which, let's face it, doesn't get as much attention these days, and I brought it to the digital realm so that you can have a sort of digital beauty magazine to flip through every day or so here on YouTube. So this is a new blush stick from Charlotte Tilbury. I am sure that you've heard about it, but blush sticks themselves, not so new. So I thought we would talk about it compared to some others. I can do a larger video in the future comparing tons of blush sticks, because so many, I mean, if you want to talk about new blush sticks, just in the past few months we've had a lot, but in the past year or so, even more. So I can do a larger one. Just let me know down below in comments if that's something that interests you. Okay, so this is the Unreal Lip and Cheek Glow Blush Stick. The fact that it can be used on lips it's obvious. It's kind of like saying that you can use an ethereal or glitter shade for the eyes, also on the cheeks. Okay, but rarely do people do that. Same thing with this. We're going to try it on the lips. We're going to do a demo with the shades I have, and we'll try it on the lips, but come on, most people are using it onto the cheek. So there are 6 of these shades. I bought 3, so 50% of the collection. I bought Rose Glow, Pretty Glow, which is kind of a lavender type shade, really. And although the Rose Glow is surprisingly lavendery, but we'll see what it is like on the cheeks. And I bought Berry Glow. So I tried to get a smattering of lightest to darkest shades. Again, there are 3 more. They say that these blushes are, and again, for lips as well, but you know, radiant. They use hyaluronic acid, collagenere. They come up with these words, and it's like, well, you can't, like if I tell you I'm Rebecca-tastic, it's really hard. I am, by the way. It's really hard to refute that, because like, what does Rebecca-tastic mean, and does it apply just to Rebecca? So, but anyway, we're going to try these on and take a look at them. If you might be blushed out, especially blush sticked out, and a lot of my viewers tell me that the problem with these blush sticks in general is they just don't last that long, you know. And if you want them to last more, you could powder them with a translucent powder, or more importantly, powder them with a similar shade in a powder blush, which works great. You know, but a lot of people don't want that extra step. Dior just came out with their Dior blush sticks that were in the exact same shades as the Dior powder blush. So those can be paired perhaps a little bit more easily, or maybe it makes it more appealing to do that. I don't know. So these are $42 each. First thing I want to do, we're going to look at them outside, and we're going to try on. I'll do it kind of the way I would normally wear it, and then I'll over-saturate it on one cheek, and then I'll change them. But what I do have to talk to you about really quickly is the component. Now, some of these, especially my compatriots in the UK, probably got theirs a little earlier than those of us in the US. So I haven't watched any reviews, but let me tell you, the component is a tad bit strange. I guess it's refillable, because all 3 of these, when I was doing the swatches, fell apart on me. What I mean is, they probably won't now, because I really tried to push them in, but when I pulled this out, it's behaving now, but when I pulled each one of them out, I would accidentally always pull the insert out first, and then on another one, on my deepest one, the berry, I pulled out everything but the color. The color was attached inside, so I had to stick this in and kind of like bang it on the table like that to make sure it was back in before I opened it. So I don't know if they'll give me any more trouble, because I kind of gave them what for banging them on the table and getting them back in place. And I do not know if this is going to be a common thing mentioned by reviewers. I was able to fix them pretty quickly. It's not like they stayed that way, but sometimes these refillable components can be a little bit fussy. Is that a good way to do it? All right, well, let's take a look at the shades that I got. Again, these are $42 each. Let's take a look at them outside in the warm California sunshine. And I'm going to let you know that what I've done is done a really deep swatch, but check the top of the swatches because that's where I sheared it out, okay? So let's go outside into the warm California sunshine. We have Rose Glow from Charlotte Tilbury, Pretty Glow, and Berry Glow sheared out a bit on the top. This is the Unreal Lip and Cheek Glow Blush Sticks, $42 each. That is 3 of the 6 available shades, and maybe they will end up adding to them. I don't know. We're going to try them on, but I also thought of the Dior blush sticks. In fact, I mentioned that a moment ago. I'm not a huge fan of these. They're very, very, very pretty, but they're pH changing. I don't know the point of pH changing. It's fun and all. What am I going to get? It's like a grab bag. But like the toffee shade I love in the powder. Comes in the stick blush too. But I've had so many people tell me that they put on the toffee and they were like, that looks nice. And 10 minutes later outside, they were like, ah, as it went like bright pink on them. Mostly it was the stick that did it, but I do have some people who told me it happened to them with the powder too. I don't know the point. Like, give me the shade that I'm going to get later, please. I don't want like, surprise, it's a different shade than what you put on in the house. You know? Okay, but anyway. I brought that out to look at the, not necessarily the color, but I thought we could compare formulas. I brought out the House blush stick too, the Mario blush stick. But like I said at the beginning, I can do a larger video on blush sticks. There's certainly a bunch of them. So let me just take the Charlotte Tilbury, which is really what this video is devoted to today. And this is in that Rose Glow. And I'm just going to kind of put it on my hand right there. And it is nice and reflective. But if we take the Dior, I don't think this Dior one lasted long enough. Here's the Dior. They're very similar. Except remember that Dior, which is our second one over, that's going to get you, for some of you, it's going to change color. Why do they do that? You know, SPF in products, I get. It like helps thicken. And then if you go through an extra step, you could say, look, we've got SPF care. I get it. But maybe it's just I don't trust these companies. I'm like, why are you making these pH activated? Like, you certainly don't think your customer wants a surprise. Does anyone have any inside intel on that? The journalist in me needs to know. Here's a House Labs shade. These are all really similar, I should say. I thought of Merit too. I probably should have brought Merit over. Talk about one that people complain doesn't last long, the Merit. And then I brought over a Mario. This is that big chunky thing with the brush on the other side. Again, I'm not really comparing these for shades, guys, because I could have looked through my collection a little more for the shades, but I was kind of wondering how they feel on the skin. And if we got into liquid blush, we would be here even longer, wouldn't we? But in terms of the glossy, it looks kind of similar, doesn't it, to Dior, other than the pH thing, and certainly to House. It's not a very huge, but let's try. That's not a very... I should say that's not necessarily an adequate comparison, but I just kind of wanted to look at it. Let's smell it first. No smell, no perfume, which is really nice. Again, I mentioned the odd component that can be a little fussy. All right, I have 3 different brushes so that we don't cross-contaminate. They are all Merit #1 brushes. I love these to put on a cream blush. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of this Rose Glow on. And what I want to do on this cheek is just do a moderate amount like I would do for everyday wear, but then I will overdo it on the other side so you can really see what it looks like. Okay, very nice color saturation. Saturates more, I think, than the Dior did in a little bit. With a little bit of application, I should say. And feels like it's part of the cheek a little more. The Dior was so radiant when I put it on, and I found this with the House Labs a little bit too, that it didn't feel like I could tell it wouldn't last. This kind of has become part of my cheek a little bit more. I know. It's like, what does that mean, Rebecca? I'm not sure myself. I'll give these a wear test though, and we'll see. The last shade I will. All right, let me really overdo it on this cheek. Some people hate when I overdo blush. I don't know why. Most people, I would say, out of 10 comments I get on overdoing blush, 9 out of 10 are generally favorable. That is silly looking. Please do not wear your blush this way. Here is a normal amount, and here is an amount just for you to see what the shade looks like. A bit blended, but very heavy. Not suggesting you wear your blush like this. Or if you want to, go ahead. Who am I to stop you? This is how I would wear it though. And then on the lips, a lot of people grossed out by multi-use lip and cheek shades. Yeah, I mean, you know what it feels like? I want to shock you here. It feels like a cream blush that I applied to my lips. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure it goes on the lips. You know, and as I always say to you guys, I say this so often. I always say, you know what? You're at the gym, you're at the office, you're just in the car running errands, and you're like, oh, I should look a little more presentable. Then it's great to be able to put it on the lips. I just really wouldn't have this as like my go-to lip shade. Why? I don't know. Does it feel nice on the lips? Yeah, it's fine. Is anyone talking about this as a lip color? No. Can they advertise that it can go on the lips? Yeah. I mean, I could use it as a face paint for a football game too, right? Okay, don't do that. It'd be very expensive. Okay, really pretty. When I overdo it, I see a little bit more texture because, of course, this is radiant. But when I have put it on in a normal amount that most people would wear it out, I'm not seeing any sort of emphasis on texture. And we can't really talk about the feel of this. It's very over applied. But in the regular feel, it is not sticky. It almost feels like it's almost set. It's a little bit balmy, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable or like it needs to be set. Go ahead and set it if you want to, but I'm not getting that uncomfortable feeling, and it is not increasing texture like it will when I overdo it. But that's not fair because most people aren't going to wear it that way. All right, what I'm going to do now is take this off. It's going to be a challenge on this side. And then we're going to look at this Pretty Glow, which is that kind of lavender shade. You saw it in the swatch. I don't know if I would have bought that for me, but it's really a popular shade that a lot of these blush sticks and liquid blushes are coming in. So I thought we might as well look at it. Lip shades too right now. A lot of lilac we're seeing, in addition to emerald. Not necessarily together. All right, stay right there. I'm going to take... Okay, did the best I could. Yep, I'm doing this foundation free and just using some concealer because it just comes off so much more easily. Okay, like I said, this is a Pretty Glow, and I think it's a little bit lilac, maybe a little bit cool toned for me. I don't think this is going to look great on me, but I would kind of have been remiss if I skipped this. Okay, let me just do a little bit. Woo! Clean Merit #1 brush. Definitely going to be a cool tone favorite. Here, this is the cheek. I was not supposed to overdo it, and I've already kind of overdone it, for me anyway. Like if I were over at my beauty table and I were doing this for me going out, I think I would probably take my brush with that little bit of concealer and go over this a little bit. But you see, and same thing, just like we saw with the Rose Glow. I'm not seeing these to be as glowy as Dior. Could be a good thing because it probably means they'll last a little longer. They do so far appear more like the Mario and the House. Again, I haven't gotten out Merit. Iconic London has some. I mean, we could go on and on. Okay, let me purposefully, oh gosh, oh goodness help us, overdo it on this cheek. Again, when we overdo it, we are going to see more texture and we are going to feel more of that dewy feeling. But that's not why I'm overdoing it, okay? I mean, that's obvious. I'm overdoing it so that you can really get an idea of color. I have a light, medium, neutral skin tone. So don't pay attention to the glow so much, really, or the texture that will show. This is just for shade. This side, since I'm wearing it in a much more natural way, will let us know a little more about texture and feel, and that is looking good. Now you're going to say, you said wear test, Rebecca. For sure. What I'm going to do with the Berry Glow, which is the third shade we have now, and the deepest, is that one we will do the wear test on, and I'll really be able to tell and hopefully take some images as well. Oh, itchy nose. Okay, I'm going to go off camera now and scrub my face for the final time, and then let's come back and apply this together. Stay right. Wait. I'm back. I forgot to put this one on the lips. I don't know that anyone cares, but it does bill itself to be a lip shade. Do we wear? Oh, that's ridiculous. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like twiggy 60s. This would not be my go-to lip shade, but you know, lavender is actually kind of in right now for lips, so I think that's goofy. But if you needed a lavender lip shade, I mean, it is comfy. So why don't you recommend it as a lip? I don't know. It's just kind of like, let's also say you can put it on your lips. You can put it on your parakeet if you want. Okay, I'm going to take this off. I got sidetracked. Okay, before you say that it looks like I left some on my cheeks because they're kind of rosy, that is just a side effect of the scrubby scrub scrub. They weren't as hard to get off as a lot of other products. I don't know what that's going to say for how long they last, but I am going to leave them on. I'm just doing stuff around the house, so it's going to look ridiculous on this side. I'm already afraid because this berry glow is our deepest shade, and the one, oh, you can see it. Okay, I have no idea if that will show. You can see where it's all smushed against the, this is the one where I pulled out everything, but the color was stuck in here. So just give them a good clop on the table before you open them up. Just trust me. Okay, so I'm going to be careful. I got my Merit #1 nice and clean here. Okay, that I'm going to be real careful with. This is a very deep shade for my complexion. So let me put it on the way I would normally wear it, which is going to be the side we are more concerned with in the wear test, to be honest. Now, at home, you might go, oh, I'm not, I can't see that on you. You could see it if you were here. Just believe me. That's really pretty. So I did that very minimally. I'm just kind of dotting it in, and I think it's really, really pretty. Before I forget, I'll put it on the lips. Actually, you know, it's really comfy. And I really would, I'm not joking, I really would use this kind of, oh, I better fix myself up. Stick some on the lips too. Just like we've all done. I've mentioned this before. You put on a lipstick and you throw a little bit on your cheeks. You throw on another blush. You know, if the blush is cream or liquid, you stick a little bit on the cheek. Isn't it a trick we've all kind of done before? So it's actually pretty though on the lips. Okay, let's overdo, I can't overdo it to that extent that I did before though. It's terrifying. Okay, let's see which brush. Here we go. The right brush there. Okay, I'm not going to overdo this as much because I don't mind the whole clownish aspect of overdoing the blush, but what if I have to answer the door? Okay. That's overdone enough, right? This side, the way I would normally wear it. This side overdone. And it is now, let me check. Okay, I got the time here so that I can see how long it lasts and tell you. And if I remember, I'll try to also take some video. Remember that this side is the overdone side though. So it's going to last a little longer just because I got so much of it on. But we'll really look at this side for the wear test, which is very pretty. Blend it a little more. Okay, overdone. This side where it is on just kind of judiciously, it feels nice. It doesn't feel sticky or dewy. Some of these other stick blushes stay feeling a little bit tacky. And then when they don't, it's because the color's kind of gone. And that's what I think about the Dior. The Dior, I think they've made better products. I love these new Dior blushes they came out with, but, and I've said this to you guys before, I like them a lot, but I think the powder are better. And I think that pH weird changing thing is even weirder in these stick ones. That's just my feeling on the Dior, but you could disagree with me. I'm not the end all and be all in stick blush opinions. So yeah, let me know. Okay, right down here, I'm going to put what I think and how long it lasted, especially this side here. We're going to do that with the Berry Glow, which, you know, admittedly is the darkest shade. And maybe you see some issues with that. I should have done the lightest. I don't know. I can only do what I can do, so I do hope it's helpful. So that's going down below. Also, remember to let me know down below if you'd like a larger examination and a more in-depth examination of some of the most popular blush sticks that have been released in the past few years. I got a bunch of them. So, you know, let me know if that's something that interests you. I do like this in the lip shade. Here I am saying it's not a lip shade at all. I actually think it's quite pretty. So maybe in our wear test, I'll include that as well. Note, Rebecca, when you're editing, include that as well. Hey, become a bigger part of this channel. You know, you can check me out on Instagram and TikTok. You can join our Facebook group. You can join our membership right here on YouTube. That info is all down below in the description bar. I'm almost at 25,000 subscribers. It's a slow train, but it's the train that could. So click that subscribe if you haven't yet. It costs you nothing and it helps me get to 25,000 faster so we can have some celebrational cake together, because I think we all deserve it. Sitting through my videos for this many years, you certainly do. All right, and make sure that you check down below places to buy, peruse. I'm going to put it up here in YouTube shopping as well. YouTube shopping is great. If you haven't tried it, if you got it in your country, you can click. It keeps the video going. You can look at things, see what the other 3 colors are, you know, all that sort of stuff. And chat with me down below. I'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts. I've given you a lot of homework here. I want a lot of feedback from you guys. And I also look forward to seeing you in the next video. It should be Guerlain. I got Laura Mercier foundation coming up. So much Guerlain, including Guerlain hair care products. And all those new things from Guerlain, and a bunch of other new things. I got good stuff. So stick with me. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.